If you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn.
Bad Bunny told America to learn Spanish for his Super Bowl show. The backlash was instant. Boycotts, political firestorms, NFL players speaking out. But what he said next at his press conference, nobody saw that coming. The joke, the clarification, and the firestorm. You know what is wild? Sometimes a man can stand in front of the entire world, smile, crack a joke, and then 4 months later walk that joke back in the most wholesome way possible. And somehow, the internet will still find a way to turn it into World War III. And that is exactly what happened with Bad Bunny, one of the most streamed artists in the history of recorded music. In the lead up to the Super Bowl LX halftime show, let us start from the very beginning. On September 28, 2025, the NFL, Apple Music, and Roc Nation officially announced that Bad Bunny would headline the Apple Music Super Bowl LX halftime show on February 8, 2026 at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. And this was not just any halftime announcement. This was history. Bad Bunny, real name Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, was set to become the first solo Latino artist to headline the halftime show, performing primarily in Spanish, the biggest stage in American entertainment, over 200 million viewers expected. And the headliner was going to do the whole thing in a language that is not English. From the second that announcement dropped, people had feelings, strong ones. But the real chaos, that did not start until Bad Bunny decided to have a little fun on Saturday Night Live. It is October 2025. Bad Bunny is hosting SNL for the second time. He is riding high after a massive 31-show residency in Puerto Rico, and during his monologue, he starts talking about the Super Bowl. He speaks passionately in Spanish about the pride of the Latino community, about how this is an achievement not just for him, but for everyone who paved the way. And then, with a grin on his face, on a comedy show, during a comedy monologue, he says this.
And if you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn.
The crowd erupted. It was funny. It was playful. It was a challenge wrapped in a wink. And honestly, it worked beautifully. After that clip went viral, fans started using apps like Duolingo to brush up on their Spanish. Subway ads popped up in New York City playing off the whole thing. TikTok videos about learning Spanish for the Super Bowl racked up millions of views. It was a genuine cultural moment, a wholesome one. But then 4 months passed, and the Super Bowl was 3 days away. And on February 5th, 2026, Bad Bunny stepped up to the podium at his pre-Super Bowl press conference, dressed in a gray fur coat and a bunny-eared beanie. And he addressed that SNL joke head on. And what he said was about as far from a slam as you can possibly get.
It's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be easy, and people only have to worry about dance. I know that I told them that they had 4 months to learn Spanish. They don't even have to learn Spanish. They just it's better if they learn to dance. But I think there's no better dance than the one that can come from the heart. The heartbeat dance. That's the only thing that they need to worry about and have fun and enjoy it.
You hear that? They do not even have to learn Spanish. Just dance, have fun, enjoy it. The man literally walked back his own joke and replaced it with the most unifying message possible. Music is universal. Rhythm transcends language. Just move your body and feel it. He was focusing on cultural celebration and universal appeal through rhythm, not linguistics. He teased bringing a lot of my culture to the stage and promised the whole thing would be a huge party. That is it. That is the so-called SLAM. But the internet did not care about any of that context. NFL news aggregator Dov Kleiman posted a clip from the press conference on X with this caption, "Oh boy, Bad Bunny said people had months to learn Spanish to enjoy his Super Bowl show. He's now changed his mind and says that fans only need to know how to dance." Millions of NFL fans have stated they will not be watching the halftime show. That post blew up, over 869,000 views, 5,900 likes, and 1,600 replies. And just like that, a light-hearted clarification about dancing got repackaged as Bad Bunny backpedaling under pressure, as if he had been forced to retreat. The comments section turned into an absolute war zone. You had people declaring things like, "I'm not watching at all. Halftime boycott is for the weak. I'm boycotting both NFL and NBA." Others escalated even further. "Boycott just the halftime show? F that. I'm boycotting the entire mid-bowl in entirety. Just fed up with the low-quality slop they constantly serve us." And some were flat out dismissed dismissive, saying things like, "No idea who this singer is," treating one of the biggest artists on the planet like he was some random nobody. But the millions boycotting claim, it crumbled under the slightest scrutiny. One user fired back with data. As of today, the official total of people worldwide who've said they won't watch is 8,647. Well over 200 Malers have said they will be watching Bad Bunny. Under 9,000 versus 200 million. That is not a boycott, that is background noise. And yet the backlash had some very big names fueling it. Former President Donald Trump called the choice absolutely ridiculous and divisive. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem threatened ICE presence at the game. 1 million moms called for a full boycott. Turning Point USA organized a counter event with Kid Rock. Petitions to replace Bad Bunny gathered over 100,000 signatures. Hall of Fame running back Eric Dickerson went on a rant claiming, "Why couldn't we get someone from home? Puerto Rico is not America," which is factually wrong since Puerto Rico is a US territory. An anonymous NFC defensive player said, "I've heard his music obviously, but I don't speak Spanish, so I'm not a big fan." Tommy Lahren called him not an American artist, all while ignoring that Spanish is spoken by 41 million people in the United States. Not everyone was buying the outrage though. People in the replies to Kleiman's post clapped back hard. One user wrote, "He has millions of fans outside of the US and the NFL is going international. It's business." Another stated bluntly, "Millions and millions of non-NFL fans will tune in and far offset any racists who tune out." Even NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell stood firmly behind the decision, defending diversity and making it crystal clear the show was not being reconsidered. An NFL player poll showed 58.6% approval of the selection. The league was not budging, and neither was Bad Bunny. So here was the reality of the situation. A man made a joke on a comedy show, walked it back with a smile at a press conference, told the world to just dance and have fun, and somehow half the internet convinced themselves he had slammed NFL players and demanded Americans learn a foreign language. The headline writes itself, but the truth was a whole lot more boring than the outrage machine wanted it to be. The press conference that showed the real Bad Bunny. Now, if all you saw was the 5-second clip that got passed around the internet, then you missed the entire point, because the full press conference on February 5th, 2026 told a completely different story. And that story was not about language wars or political statements or boycotts. It was about a kid from Puerto Rico who could not believe where life had taken him. When Bad Bunny walked out to that podium, the energy in the room was electric. And when they asked him how he was feeling, just days before the biggest performance of his career, his answer was as raw and real as it gets.
To be honest, I don't know how I'm feeling. There's a lot, there's a lot of, I've been saying that I'm still at middle of my tour. I just was at the Grammys last week.
Yes, 3-time Grammy winner, Album of the Year winner, Bad Bunny.
All of that mean I've been working on this show on what we're gonna do next Sunday. So it's been a lot. Of course, there's a lot of grateful and agradecimiento is how I've been feeling this whole year with the album, with Debí Tirar Más Foto. The biggest feeling is being grateful.
This is not a man trying to stir up controversy. This is a man trying to process the fact that his entire life has led to this one moment. He had just been at the Grammys the week before, where his album Debí Tirar Más Fotos became the first Spanish language record to win Grammy Album of the Year. He was still in the middle of a world tour, and now he was about to step onto the biggest stage in entertainment. The weight of it was clearly sitting on his shoulders, but so was the gratitude. And when they asked him about the album that brought him here, he got deeply personal about what it meant. He talked about how he was not chasing Grammy wins or Super Bowl performances. He said he just wanted to connect with his roots, with his people, with his culture. He did it honestly, starting with a residency in Puerto Rico, where he told his team he did not want to leave the island. And then the world came calling anyway. He said the album taught him something he already knew, but that was now confirmed. That you should always be proud of who you are and where you come from, but you should never let that limit where you can go.
That record teach me a lot. And I think is one of the most, if not, I think the most special project that I ever have done, because it brought me to here, and I wasn't looking for anything of this.
I know where I come from, but I also know where I can go. That right there is the real Bad Bunny. Not the caricature that the headlines were selling. Not the villain that the boycott crowd was painting. A man who was chasing connection, not controversy. And then came the question everyone wanted answered. Are there going to be surprise guests on Sunday? The interviewers pressed him on it because, after all, 6 years ago, Bad Bunny was a guest on the Super Bowl stage himself during the Jennifer Lopez and Shakira halftime show at Super Bowl Live, so it was a fair question, and his answer was classic Bad Bunny. He dodged it with the smoothness of a seasoned politician, saying his guests would be his family, his friends, and the entire Latino community around the world. He pointed out that he is #1 in China, so Chinese people love him too. The interviewer even called him out. He didn't say no, by the way. The whole room was in on the fun. But maybe the most heartfelt moment of the entire press conference came when a young girl from Big Brothers Big Sisters asked him who supported him before the world knew his name, and without a single second of hesitation, Bad Bunny talked about his mom.
The first person that came, I have to say my mom, because you said that it was before that I became this, and the first person that I come to my mind is my mom, because she believed in me, and I'm not talking about my music career. I just talking about before everything. She believed in me as a person, as a human. She believed in me that in my decisions, in my opinions, in my taste, in my choices, and she believed that I could be a good person, you know, smart guy, talent, and I think that's what got me here, you know. Not because that she believed that I was a great artist, but that she believed that I'm a great person, and that feel better even than anything else.
She did not believe he would be a great artist. She believed he would be a great person, and that, he said, mattered more than anything else. When a kid from Gen Youth asked what he would be doing if he was not making music, he paused and got philosophical, saying this was the only thing he ever truly wanted, but that even without music, he knew he would have still been a good person, still writing, still creating, because it was in his blood. And then there was the smash burger moment. When a Play 60 kid asked how he stays healthy while preparing, he admitted he had been eating smash burgers at 4 a.m, could not stop thinking about the show, had barely been playing dominoes, which was killing him, and had gone scoreless in his last 3 games. He apologized for cursing and said he needed to talk to his therapist. The whole room was laughing. That is the man the boycotters were telling you to be afraid of. Even Adam Sandler, his co-star from Happy Gilmore 2, could not contain his excitement when asked about Bad Bunny and the halftime show, calling him a great human being, a great performer, and saying he had spoken to him that day and that Bad Bunny was excited like a kid. That is who Bad Bunny was heading into Super Bowl Sunday. Not an aggressor, not a provocateur, just a kid from Puerto Rico who still could not believe this was his life. The kid from Vega Baja who changed everything. Now, to truly understand why this whole controversy is so much bigger than a joke about learning Spanish, you need to understand where Bad Bunny came from, because this is not some overnight sensation who stumbled into fame and suddenly found himself at the center of a culture war. This is a story that starts in a small coastal town in Puerto Rico, wins through years of hustle and struggle and doubt, and ends up on the biggest stage in the world, with half the country cheering and the other half trying to shut it down. Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio was born on March 10, 1994, in Bayamón, Bayamon, Puerto Rico, and grew up in the Almirante Sur barrio of Vega Baja, a coastal municipality about 30 miles west of San Juan. His childhood was humble but happy. His father, Tito Martinez, drove trucks for a living. His mother, Lisorio Ocasio, was a retired English school teacher who poured education and love into her son. He has two younger brothers, Bernie and Bisael. Music was woven into the fabric of daily life. His parents loved salsa and merengue from legends like Hector Lavoe and Juan Gabriel, while car rides introduced young Benito to the reggaeton pioneers who would shape his future, Daddy Yankee, Vico C, and Tego Calderon. He sang in the choir at his local Catholic church until he was 13, then started spending hours alone in his room making beats and freestyling. And his stage name? It came from a childhood Easter photo where he was forced into a bunny costume and wore the grumpiest expression you have ever seen, a perfect snapshot of innocence mixed with rebellion. The name stuck forever. And here is something people need to understand about Bad Bunny. The world knows him as this larger-than-life superstar, but underneath all of that, he is still that kid from Vega Baja. He talked about this on The Late Show, explaining the difference between Bad Bunny the performer and Benito the person. Now, Benito and Bad Bunny merged into one, and that authenticity, that refusal to put on a mask, is exactly what made him connect with hundreds of millions of people around the world. After graduating from high school in 2012, he enrolled at the University of Puerto Rico at Arecibo to study audiovisual communications. But even while he was studying, his heart was somewhere else entirely. He was working as a bagger at an Econo supermarket in Vega Baja and uploading self-produced tracks to SoundCloud on the side. By 2016, his single Dials caught the attention of Puerto Rican producer DJ Luyan, and everything changed overnight. He signed with Hear This Music and never looked back. His 2017 track Soy Pure launched him into the spotlight. In 2018, he featured on Cardi B's I Like It, which topped the Billboard Hot 100, and then Drake's Mia hit number 5. His debut album X100 Pry peaked at number 11 on the Billboard 200, and from there, the climb just never stopped. He became Spotify's most streamed artist worldwide for 3 consecutive years from 2020 to 2022. His 2022 album, Un Verano Sin Ti, became the first Spanish-language album nominated for Grammy Album of the Year, spent 13 weeks at number 1, and became the most streamed album in Spotify history. He accumulated over 45 billion Spotify streams. He branched into acting with roles in Bullet Train and Happy Gilmore 2. He showed up at WrestleMania 37 in 2021, and one thing set him apart from nearly every Latin artist who ever tried to cross over before him: he refused to switch to English, not a single word, and when asked about it, he has always been unapologetic.
One of the things that sets your generation of Latin artists apart from whatever happened in the 90s or the early 2000s is your choice to continue to perform in Spanish. Now that your music is reaching so many millions of people around the world, is there a part of you that feels like listeners who don't understand the lyrics are missing something and will never fully grasp what you're trying to convey?
Definitely people miss a lot of
nuance.
Yeah, actually, even there's a lot of Latinos who speak Spanish that they missing a lot, I think, because I'm singing in Puerto Rican slang.
Right.
And yeah, I remember, I think after Un Verano Sin Ti, it was the biggest part of my career.
Yep.
And I came with this album totally different from Un Verano Sin Ti, de Nadie Sabe Lo Que Va a Pasar Mañana, with a lot of bars and analogías de Puerto Rico and Spanish. And I'm 100% sure that people was like, they missed the best part of that album, definitely.
How does that make you feel? Do you want to over-explain it, or you just feel like it's in the world?
I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. I always say, the day that I feel that I need to say something in English, I'm gonna do it. Also, I don't write in English.
Right.
I don't write in English, period. And that is exactly the energy he was bringing to the Super Bowl. That commitment to being authentically Puerto Rican on the world's biggest American stage is what inspired millions and infuriated others. And when he talked about what it feels like to perform at home in Puerto Rico in front of his own people, you could hear how deeply his roots were.
To me.
But Bad Bunny has never been just about the music. His activism is woven into every fiber flavor of who he is. In July 2019, he interrupted his European tour to fly back to Puerto Rico and join massive protests demanding the resignation of Governor Ricardo Rosselló after leaked chats revealed the administration mocking Hurricane Maria victims. He marched alongside Resident and Ricky Martin. Rosselló resigned within 2 weeks. In 2020, Bad Bunny appeared on The Tonight Show wearing a skirt and a shirt reading, "They killed Alexa, not a man in a skirt," honoring murdered trans woman Alexa Negron Luciano and confronting the rampant transphobia plaguing Puerto Rico. His gender-fluid fashion, the painted nails, the dresses, the 2022 VMA's kiss with a male dancer earned him GLAAD's Vanguard Award in 2023 for LGBTQ+ advocacy. His track Yo Perreo Sola featured him in drag, promoting women's right to dance freely without harassment. His 2022 song El Apagón exposed Puerto Rico's chronic blackouts, gentrification by US investors, and the displacement of native Puerto Ricans. And in 2025, he posted a video of ICE raids in Puerto Rico, calling out the agents publicly and even skipped US tour dates fearing the raids would target his undocumented fans. But here's the thing, Bad Bunny has not been immune to criticism from his own community either. His early lyrics faced accusations of misogyny and objectifying women, fitting comfortably into reggaeton's hyper-masculine traditions. Critics pointed out that albums like Nadie Sabe Lo Que Va a Pasar Mañana included only one female feature, deployed in a way some felt demeaned other women. His relationship with Kendall Jenner raised eyebrows given her family's cultural appropriation controversies. In 2023, his Spanish performance at the Grammys was subtitled only as "Singing in Non-English," which he rightfully called out as disrespectful to both Latinos and the deaf community. In December 2025, he was scolded by Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology for touching a historical artifact in a deleted Instagram photo, and some academics have gone as far as accusing him of purple washing, co-opting feminist ideologies to mask the misogyny still lurking in parts of his catalog. He is complicated. He is contradictory at times. He is human, but what he is not, what he has never been, is what those Super Bowl headlines tried to make him. He never slammed NFL players. He never demanded anyone learn Spanish. He told a joke on a comedy show. He clarified it at a press conference with a message about dancing and joy and heartbeats. And the machine, the outrage machine that feeds on division and anger and clicks, turned it into something it was never meant to be. And you know what? History tells us exactly how this story ends. Janet Jackson's 2004 Nipplegate led to FCC fines and years of career damage. Beyoncé's 2016 Formation performance drew boycotts over perceived anti-police messaging. MIA got slapped with a $16.6 million lawsuit for flipping off the camera during Madonna's 2012 set. Maroon 5 was boycotted in 2019 over the NFL's handling of Colin Kaepernick. Every single time, people swore up and down they would not watch, and every single time, the boycotts barely made a dent in the actual ratings. Come Super Bowl Sunday, over 200 million people were going to tune in. Most of them would be dancing to reggaeton beats they did not need a translation for, because at the end of the day, that is the truth Bad Bunny was trying to tell us all along. You do not need to speak the language to feel the music. You just need a heartbeat.